In today's breaking story, you're about to watch JD Vance accidentally betray Kristi Noem in a brand new, disastrous interview. That's right, once again, Donald Trump's administration continues to implode. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avalone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, Donald Trump's administration is an absolute mess, which is why they're dealing with constant scandal and constant betrayal. For one, Trump's administration is screwing over millions of Americans right now.
Well, Wolf, a lot of people are getting sticker shock like they can't believe as we approach Halloween here. Talk about a frightening situation. The enrollment begins on November 1st. This is precisely what some lawmakers have been warning about throughout this shutdown. They're saying, look, this enrollment time is coming up, and unless this healthcare situation is fixed, a lot of people are going to get really hammered. And indeed, that's what it looks like is happening as we approach this enrollment time. 26% increase on average, you mentioned there. That's in the premiums for this, which affects tens of millions of people out there. But this is what's really important. When you mention the monthly payment expected to more than double at the end of subsidies, that's the enhanced subsidies that help people pay some of those premiums. So let's look at a real example here. For some people out there who might have been paying $888 for their care this year, next year, $1,904. You can imagine for a lot of people who don't have a lot of money, that is a real backbreaker. That's kind of a backbreaker for a lot of people who are doing fairly well. So that's the big worry here, that they're going to have this gigantic jump in the fee. That's just one example, but if you look at the median out there for this, and then if you look at the different categories, there are some people who will lose their insurance altogether because they simply won't be able to pay it.
And this is why he's now getting called out left and right.
I believe the military is greatly important and should be paid just right along with SNAP benefits, our air traffic controllers, and everybody else. You can find money to give it to Argentina. Then you want to turn around and buy beef from them and slap our farmers in the face. You know, he's real good at being overseas and running away from his responsibilities. But I think it's time for him. He keeps bragging about how good he is making deals over there. He ought to get back here and start taking care of our country and sit down and be serious about it instead of calling everybody funny names and blaming somebody and saying it's just one side or the other. Because as far as I know, the Democrats are in their offices in the House, but where's the Republicans? They're still on a month-long vacation and getting paid.
If I were the Democratic Party, I'd be talking about how Trump is raging on his Truth Social all about the 2020 election still. I would be pointing out it is 2025. You are the current sitting president. All of your legal challenges failed over and over and over again. You've never proven that there was any significant fraud in the 2020 election. Grow up. It is time to govern, reopen the government, do your job. There are Americans out there who are struggling right now, who are waiting in food lines because they can't pay their bills and put food on the table for their families. And so I would reframe it all in that context right now, that he is not doing his job. He is a narcissist who is living in the past, who can't get over the fact that Joe Biden beat him fair and square.
And that's a communication professional there for you folks.
And now JD Vance just accidentally betrayed Kristi Noem. That's right, take a look at this disastrous interview.
But really, for those 6 months, I mean, I kind of obsessively trained him. Like you could see this. Like he sits on command, he stays on command. He has this command place, which is basically if I snap my finger and point, he will run to that place and lay down.
You don't have to zap him. Like
no.
Hassan.
Not like Hassan Piker. No.
Wasn't that disgusting?
No electrocution of dogs here.
How disgusting is that? What does that tell you about a person?
Well, I think it tells you that they're not, that they're bad people.
Yes.
If you can actually cause suffering to an innocent animal, you're probably the kind of person who doesn't worry about suffering in people as well. Yeah. And that's been my experience. If you mistreat dogs, that's almost 100% sign that you're going to be a really terrible person. So it's one of the ways, we really sort of test people is if Atlas responds well to them, if they like Atlas, we know they're good people. But you can tell if somebody's really mean to animals, it's like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Yeah. Like every serial killer ever has actually been really bad to animals. That's sort of how they started.
Vice President JD Vance sat down for what was supposed to be a friendly interview with the New York Post, but instead, it turned into a political disaster. In the clip you just saw, Vance passionately condemns terrible people who mistreat dogs, even going so far as to say that animal abusers are almost always terrible people. But here's the irony: sitting in his own administration is Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who personally admitted to killing her own puppy in her 2024 book. Noem wrote that she hated that dog, used a shock collar on it, led it to a gravel pit, and shot it to death. Yet she remains one of Trump and Vance's highest-ranking cabinet members. And now Vance is out here declaring that people who mistreat dogs are terrible and like Jeffrey Dahmer. That's not just tone-deaf, it's politically suicidal. Vance didn't just stumble, he threw his own officials under the bus. When asked about training methods, he emphasized, "No electrocution of dogs here," directly contradicting Noem's own words. It was a not-so-subtle jab that immediately set social media on fire, with even conservative commentators pointing out how disastrous the optics are. This interview was supposed to humanize Vance, to show off the good guy with a friendly dog image. Instead, it spotlighted one of the darkest scandals haunting the Trump-Vance administration. So while Vance may have meant to score points against Biden's dog problems, what he actually did was reopen one of the ugliest wounds in his own party, reminding everyone that this White House isn't just disorganized, it's morally inconsistent. And the more they talk, the clearer it becomes. Even their own words keep digging the hole deeper. Thanks so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe to Occupy Democrats so that you can stay informed and help us stop Donald Trump.